During the past few days, I have been thinking about key performance indicators for organizations and how setting them correctly will influence the organization's success. And spoiler, I see a huge correlation between the numbers of KPIs and how successful the organization is. Key performance indicators, or KPI for short, for those who don't know it yet, is a type of performance measurement. KPIs evaluate the success of a particular activity. It is the compass that shows that we are moving in the right direction. Moreover, you know the saying, what gets measured, gets managed. So why KPI is vital to the organization? If you noticed in the past few years, there is a trend in driving speed control. In the beginning, we had a static sign that says the speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour and you will be fined if you exceed this limit. However, they are discovered that since the fine is something in the future, some people simply were not willing to act on it in the present. So they created a sign that says your speed now is whatever, slow down. And this method is proven effective with more drivers. Not because you feared to get a ticket from the police, but because you get an instant feedback about something you are doing at this moment. This is called feedback loop. The more frequently you get feedback about something, the more you will be able to manage it. The same concept is used in fitness tracking as one example. This means in the business world, the more real-time KPIs you got, the more you will be willing to act on it and correct any deviation from the plan. So now you understand why it's important. How many do you need? So let's have another example. If you try to plant a tree, what do you need to make this succeed? You need the seed, of course, air, correct temperature for the seed, sunlight, soil, and finally water. This is called critical success factors. If only one of them fails, the entire process might fail or will not deliver the valid results. These critical success factors are the ones you monitor in the organization and associate KPIs to it. But now you will be faced with another problem. For a simple act of planting a seed, you have 6 KPIs. In a complex organization, this is a challenge. Since you have a finite set of resources, you need to select only the KPIs that matters to the organization and allow decision makers to make informed decisions. Let me rephrase. You can have as many KPIs as you want since you have all the data and the processing power. But you need to understand that the human brain capacity is still the same. In 1956, George Miller, a professor of psychology at Princeton University, published a paper titled The Magical Number 7, plus or minus 2. Some limits on our capacity for processing information. The nice thing about this study is that the title says everything. Your brain can handle from 5 to 7 pieces of information at one point in time. Some very special people can handle up to 9. You might think this study is old. Well, a recent survey shows that the typical decision maker focus only on 4 KPIs at a time. So don't waste your resources creating hundreds of KPIs. In the beginning, I mentioned the correlation between organizational success and the KPI. This is a negative correlation. The less you got and the less you focus on, the more successful the organization will be. Lots of organizations change drastically by focusing on one KPI and act on it. This still did not answer the question, how many KPIs per organization? There is no rule, but the consensus is from 10 to 20 per the entire organization. Now you understand why and how many you need to create a KPI. In the next step, you need to create the actual KPI. Please, in this step, don't go online and search your industry and search what others are monitoring and measuring. You only can succeed by measuring against yourself. This means your KPI need to be smart, specific, a specific range of numbers, measurable, how this number is good or bad and how to react in both cases, achievable. If the number you are targeting is impossible by the current operation, there is no point of having a red KPI all the time or a failed KPI all the time. Instead, lower your specification range to make it achievable. Relevant. Only what matters to your organization. Don't pile up on KPIs. Timely. KPI need to be real-time feedback, or at least as close to real-time as possible. So to build the KPI you will need, first, the indicator. This will be your baseline. A baseline is known state and the history of a specific indicator or matrix. You will need some tools to gather facts. Monitoring will generate indicators like sales for a specific product is 100 units. The indicator is based on monitoring and the available tools. It's raw data. If you don't have the correct data, you cannot create a valid KPI. Second, the performance. You take this against the capacity and the capability of the organization and see how it can be improved or to monitor anything unusual. Every indicator should have some small paragraph explaining reduced or increased meaning. This is the progress of the change in the organization. Typically, each KPI is a scale. Let's assume it's from 1,000 to 10,000 units sold. Your KPI is targeting 5,000 units mark with a range from 4,000 to 6,000. If the unit is more than 6,000 a month, then you should plan your strategy, like reducing the incentives on the units, like promotion as one example, or reduce advertising spending. And then the same happens if it's below 4,000 unit mark. In this case, your strategy should be increase promotions, advertisement, or sales incentives. Also, worth mentioning, the range from 6,000 to 10,000 should have a different reactions based on the number, since it's not logical to react to 6,001 units sold as same as 9,000 units sold. The last part in the KPI is the key. From the last example, typically each KPI have some plans associated with it in advance. It's a proactive, not reactive. This means it's up to the management to decide if they want to take action on this indicator or not. If it's only KPI without a strategy planned with it, this means it is unnecessary and the effort can be spent elsewhere. That's a quick overview of the KPIs with why and how. Thank you for your time and see you in the next bit.